Today's Daily Dose of Math is about Principle 12 from the Math 4273 Geometry course. Principle 12 states that the length of a leg of a right triangle is the geometric mean between the length of its projection on the hypotenuse and the length of the hypotenuse. Expressed in the English language, it's not very clear. But in the course, a list of principles is attached to the exam for the students to refer to, and this is an advantage because when doing calculations where you use this, instead of having to write out that sentence, you're able to say, I'm using Principle 12. It saves time. What's not printed on the exam are these little formulas, which are really the same formula, and this diagram, which are very helpful for being clear to the student about what it is they're actually doing when they use Principle 12. The students in this course are allowed a memory aid, which is a sheet of paper on which they can write formulas and definitions and things that might help them in their exam. And it's a good idea to have a diagram like this, showing these formulas, perhaps with an example actually filled in. That helps the student as a model when they're doing calculations on their exam, and is especially helpful because this is one of several principles that are part of the same course which are quite similar to each other, and it's possible to mix them up. This video is not trying to show how this was derived, how it really works. That is the subject for another video. In this video, I'm just doing a few examples showing how we use this. In question A, we're told that BD is 4 units in length, BC is 9 units in length, and we're asked how long is AB. AB is a leg of the right triangle. BD is the closer piece of the hypotenuse that is formed by the presence of this altitude. And BC, of course, is the entire hypotenuse. So to find AB, we're going to use the upper of these two formulas. The difference between these two is AB is just focusing on this leg of the right triangle, and AC is focusing on this other one on the other side. So if BD equals 4, BC equals 9, filling in this upper formula, AB squared is equal to 4 times 9, which is 36. Therefore, AB is equal to the square root of 36, which is 6. No unit was given, so I use the word units as my unit. And I remember to justify what I just did by saying I'm using Principle 12. I asked students to circle the principal number on their exam page so that I'm sure to notice it when I'm correcting. And now we're asked how long is AC. We're doing the other version of formula, and we're finding the other leg. AC squared is not going to be equal to 4 times 9 because we need CD, the closer piece of the hypotenuse, and we have to get that with a subtraction. The entire hypotenuse is 9, and we subtract the 4 that we knew from BD, and that means that CD has to be 5 units in length. So it's 5 times 9. AC squared is equal to 45, so AC is going to be equal to the square root of 45, which rounds to 6.7 units. And then I justify saying I'm using Principle 12 again. I used it more than once, I justify it more than once. In question C, BD is equal to 8. That's the closer piece of the hypotenuse. AB is equal to 12. That's the leg. This time we know the leg, and we're being asked how long is BC, how long is the entire hypotenuse. So filling in the upper formula, 12 squared is equal to 8 times x, our unknown, which is the hypotenuse. 144 equals 8x. Isolate our variable, and x is equal to 18 units. And I justify, because I used it again. And question D is asking for the length of AC. In order to find that, I'm going to need to know CD. And CD is not given, so I have to subtract first. My 18 unit hypotenuse minus the 8 of BD gives me a CD length of 10 units. Now we can fill in our formula. AC squared is equal to 10 times 18, which is 180. Therefore, AC is going to be equal to the square root of 180, which rounds to 13.4 units, and I used principle 12 again. Now be aware of the fact that you may be doing a geometry course from a different curriculum. You may have this principle as part of your course, but it might not be principle 12 for your course. An example of that is right in my own classroom, where I teach both this Math 4273 course and a Math 4153, which is another version of the same geometry course. One of them is advanced, the other is not. And because one of the courses is advanced, it has more principles for the students to know. That changes the numbering system. In the other course, Math 4153, this is principle 10. So be careful. Use the list of theorems that goes with your course. That is today's Daily Dose of Math. Please like, subscribe, and share.